The owl of the night. What groovy music he makes.
It's Inshoma's Night Owl, Skilly-Boo-Bop, Whirling Show.
Disco plesiosaur. Chicken dinner. Jack Oxen. Chicken dinner. Oh, this is insane. Okay. That's weird. Okay.
I'm so sleepy I can't seem to keep awake.
And now it's time for night owling with that fuzzy-faced friendly giant. Enshoma.
Oh! Yeah! Oh my god, this is gonna be weird.
You fool! You fell for one of the old classic blunders! You thought last stream was the last stream of Skype's living dream. But it was this one! You never bet against an Enshoma when comedy is on the line! Are you Sicilian? We need that for this joke to work.
I'm Portuguese, actually.
Ah, those Portugueses.
Yes, indeed. So,
hi, Carico.
So here's a fun gag, ladies and gentlemen. We thought we were done because Ace was getting tired, and but our friend Mark has joined us, and for 1 hour
and he happened to have an 8-ball of Coke, so
yes.
We're wide awake now.
So yeah, just for at least for an extra hour, you get a night owling, the last night owling we're doing on Skype. So let's like a mummy making out with a vampire. Let's squeeze this one back from the dead. Hey, Mark.
Sexy vampires.
Yes.
Sexy mummies.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, unfortunately, the share screening is kind of screwing over the what shall I say? The audio. So I'm going to close down the share screen, but people should hear us okay. So.
All right.
How do you sound?
Well.
Sounds fine.
Okay.
Sounding better than ever over here. Hey, who gets to wrap a mummy's boobies? Did they have like the women assistant Egyptians or whatever wrap the female mummies? Or
I want to say
you
Egypt.
think like with massages, you get to choose like a female masseuse for a female massagee. Maybe a similar thing.
I think mummifiers are unisex there.
Yeah, I really want to say the ancient Egyptians were more progressive that way, but at the same time, it's like it was just a bunch of like really creepy priests and monks going like, "Ooh, a lady corpse, ooh." Oh wait, we can't get to them. There's these two snakes connected.
Knowing ancient Egyptians, they probably had to like gouge their eyes out afterwards or something like that.
No. Before you do the mumming, you get rid of all the organs first, and you put them in little jars, so that the mummy in the afterlife is.
Does that make it less sexually enticing if no organs or?
No, they let you do it, and then they just execute you right afterwards. Like that's what it is.
No, they don't execute. Not every movie is like a Boris Karloff film.
They mummify them alive after they get finished.
So. Anyways, I say mummies are
At least there's a lot of gauze there to clean up.
You know.
Is what I'm saying. They're forward thinking.
Anyway,
Hey,
so how are you guys?
we're doing okay. How about
Who was a
you?
cucumber?
I was not mummified alive. I am pretty good, pretty good. You know, today was free comic book day. I got like every Godzilla comic there is, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
I got Godzilla versus Chicago, which is kind of strange. I did not know that was a thing. Godzilla Skate or Die. I don't know what this is about. There appear to be skaters in it. I haven't read any of these yet. But they
Roller
appear to be
skaters or skateboarders?
skateboarders.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
And
Veron's
one
on the
guy has
rollerblades.
roller skates. One guy has roller skates. One guy has actual roller blades, and then two skateboarders. And then somehow, I guess they like shred on Godzilla or something. I don't know.
I was
That's
hoping
kinda-
Godzilla would have the roller skates. That's
Maybe they're just gonna do some like sick skate or die tricks or something. There's one called Godzilla Heist where the cover actually looks kind of badass. It's by Bob Eagleton. That looks really good.
Did you buy individual issues or did you buy like full trade paperbacks?
The issues, yeah.
Mm.
Because I think these are all like still in the middle of their runs or whatever. So that actually looks kind of good though. That's up to number 3, and then Spider-Man versus Godzilla, which I got the 70s cover for this. So it actually has like the 70s Marvel green Godzilla on it.
Nice.
And because they did like a full thing, like they did like a Fantastic Four versus Godzilla, then a Hulk versus Godzilla, but they're all like one shots. And in this one, it looks like the Venom symbiote gets giant and Godzilla fights it. I don't know. I haven't actually read it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I think those are all like, they're all like one shots. I don't think they're like connected or anything. But, still, that's cool. And then there's actually a free comic book day called Godzilla the New Heroes. And this is like a free comic book edition kind of thing. So I guess there's like even more series coming. I haven't actually read any of these. I just got home, so.
Oh, yeah. Did you hear about the
But-
Keisai Godzilla universe?
No.
IDW, their next couple of Godzilla series are going to take place in the same universe, and it's basically Godzilla in the distant future. So there's 2 titles. There's Godzilla Escape the Deadlands, where we follow the adventures of a half-human, half-reptilian mutant trying to escape from a devastated Earth. And then there's Starship Mechagodzilla, which is basically our heroes are on a on a Mechagodzilla starship. So
they're in this, yeah. So this free comic book day thing, those are like previews for those 2.
yes,
So
yes.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so, and ironically, at the same time, there's a manga in Japan that's going to be Godzilla in outer space. So Godzilla goes into space, protecting the human race.
It's with Katy Perry.
Katy Perry, yeah.
With Katy Perry, yeah.
Because
Katy, you want to watch me put lotion on my boobs? No,
They should have done that
Godzilla,
since the
too late.
beginning. Like since the beginning, they should have like made them all interlinked. I mean, I guess that kind of limits your storytelling when you have to conform to a shared universe or whatever, but still, it's like I think that's probably would have been better, I don't know. I like the shared universe concept. I like that kind of thing. I mean, I'm a sucker for continuity.
My question is, in all of these one-shot comic book crossover battle things, does Godzilla win every single time? Or is it like a Jaws type of thing where he's, okay, well, they killed him, the Fantastic Four killed him in the last one, but he's back in the next one, and the next one will kill him too.
Yeah.
Well, I've been...
They're jobbing Godzilla out after they paid a buttload of money for it.
Yeah, well, I've been on... I haven't read the books, but I'm kind of on top of the plots through spoiler-heavy videos and whatnot. Each comic book takes place in their own. They're all unconnected, despite the fact that they're all Marvel. But,
they're all one shots.
Yeah, but no, they end usually as you would expect them. Like Godzilla and the heroes come to an understanding, and they team up to get against another enemy.
So Godzilla versus the Hulk is pretty good.
Yeah, Godzilla and the Hulk merge and
Fantastic
become
Four
Hulk
one,
Godzilla.
Like the Fantastic Four one, I would say is like 6 out of 10, but the Hulk one is actually not bad at all.
Yeah, and in the
because King Ghidorah shows up in that one, that's actually kind of awesome.
Yeah, and in Godzilla vs. Spider-Man, Godzilla and Peter Parker team up to fight against a giant symbiote that's taking on Godzilla's cells.
Well, don't spoil it for me, man. I just bought it.
Oh, damn it.
And in Godzilla versus
Man.
Howard the Duck, they just smoke and watch porn and eat pizza.
That would be the
night.
best one. I mean,
Yeah.
Hey, Howard the
Those
Duck,
laid
you want
back.
to watch me put whipped cream on
And
on my boobs?
I also got a Yusaki Yojimbo Mighty Morphin Power Rangers crossover, which I did not know that was a thing.
They're doing that too?
So that looks kind of awesome, because I'm a big time Yusaki Yojimbo fan.
You know what sucks?
And, Power Rangers too.
Yeah, but what sucks is they're not going to use Samurai Fan Man in that one. That would have been a great combination.
What sucks is they're not going to cross over to Shiramafune from Yojimbo with the Power Rangers. Why can't we have Power Rangers invading the
Yojimbo.
Kurosawa universe? Is why I'm at last introduce some real art.
Indeed.
Power Rangers. So I'm just flipping through it now. I don't have my glasses on me, but it looks all right. They got some Megazords going here. It kind of looks like they go back in time or something. I don't know. I'll read it later.
Because
Are
as
they
we
known
know,
for
ancient
doing that?
Japan was filled with anthropomorphic furries.
Well, the turtles went back in time. Are the Rangers known for going back in time? Do they do
Oh,
that?
well, Raph can answer that question.
Raph?
Yeah,
But
there's
without going on a half-hour Power Ranger tangent, are they known for going back in time, and how far back have they gone?
they have been known to go back in time, and I think the farthest they've gone back in time is in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was the Old West, and the 1700s actually, because that's where they fought giant rats with Bulk and Skull's ancestors. And in Power Rangers Time Force, the furthest they went back was the Age of the Dinosaurs, where they fought a Tyrannosaur from the Kyoto brothers.
Okay, well that's par for the course. But with the Western one, are Bulk's and Skull's ancestors like Biff's ancestors? Are they played by the same people with
Yes.
beards?
Yo, God, it's
That's
ridiculous.
good.
Everybody plays their ancestors in that one. It's ridiculous. It's like Ernie, instead of a juice bar, it's a juice saloon. So we're talking about that level of Saturday morning logic.
Juice Saloon.
Yeah, and when Bulk and Skull went on myancestry.com, they share a common link, which makes it awkward because they're lovers. So that makes the whole lineage.
There was no such thing as juice in the Old West. Are you serious? They didn't have fruits and vegetables back then.
I know it's a dumb
Everybody
kid show
ate
from the
beef.
90s, so they knew what they were doing. So
They eat beef and cactus and sand. That was the whole,
yeah,
and leather and shoe leather.
yeah, I
That
think
was the Western diet.
I think the funniest gag.
Ribs and
Yeah, that was a two-parter called Wild West Rangers, and I think the funniest gag was we see the command center back in the Old West, and for some reason Alpha and Zordon had horses. So it's like this. So it's a cute little model effect, but yeah, there's like a little stable with horses.
Alpha probably had a Shetland pony. We're being realistic.
Yeah, that two-parter also had the monster Needle Nose, who was a cactus monster with one eye and a appalling Mexican accent.
Oh boy.
I could see that, Power Rangers, and then there's like some desperados.
Mm-hmm.
This town ain't big enough for the 8 of us, and
The Power Rangers would definitely win, though.
Well,
Wouldn't
these
they?
guys have bullets. I mean, they
can flip really high.
Yeah, but these guys have guns. I mean, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah, but have you seen how fast Tommy can flip? He can do it like a
Shoot
lot of
them.
times.
Yeah,
He could.
yeah.
it always kind of seemed like all they really needed was just bring a couple of guns and just kind of shoot Rita Repulsa. It's like,
God,
Okay.
You know.
Cowboys versus Aliens sequel, Cowboy versus Power Rangers, where they all come
can
back
see
to the
that.
same town.
okay,
And-
okay. Here's the
all I'm
thing.
saying is I could see that being a thing. I could see that, I
Sure.
would
I'm
I
getting
would
so
watch
pissed
that.
off right now.
Gunfight of the Saban Royale.
Yeah, no. Here's the thing, though. The Power Rangers and a lot of the monsters they fight are obviously bulletproof, and also you have to remember the Power Rangers
Yeah.
get hit by like laser beams and living cannon
Oh, that's true.
monsters every day. So I don't think bullets would be a big deal unless they're in their
And,
civilian
and,
forms.
and Tommy can flip a lot.
I'm just saying, Go-Go Cowboy Rangers would be an awesome show. Is all I'm trying to say.
Yes.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. We've
They could
barely
have
had
like
any-
a dragon. Like the Zords would just be like horses that like kind of form together Like, no, all right, so there'd be a horse and then like a covered wagon, and then one of them would be a train. And
you could get Charlie Daniels to do the theme song and do it all like, I say go cowboy rangers, I say get on down the trail, I go cowboy
Totally.
rangers.
Oh,
then
God.
you have to have like one of them be a Native American themed guy, you know, just because you got to have diversity, and that's like all there was back then.
Oh my God, Tommy Oliver is technically Native American.
Sensei Old Feather.
You know,
Sensei Old Feather. I'm creating a
and you know, and then one of the Zords is like a buffalo, and then you know, they form up, and you have cowboy themed monsters. You know, you can have like a guy that's like a monster that's a version of like
a jackal.
what's that one? No, what's the one general that like died at Little Bighorn? What's his name again?
General Custard, but he's actually made of custard, so he's Custard General.
Like you could have him be a villain. That'd be kind of awesome.
And they
It writes itself.
but at the beginning of the episode they unthaw him because he was frozen custard previously. So
It writes itself,
maybe
man. That's all
maybe
I'm
his
trying to
name
say.
is General Frozen Custard, and he freezes things in the middle of the desert.
that's right. Yeah.
Oh my God!
Anyway,
Yeah, no, I think their Zords should just be like 5 identical plastic cows painted different colors, and they don't move. It's not like elaborate puppetry or anything. They just move across the landscape like regular figures. When they merge, they just become one big cowboy.
just be sort of like the Power Rangers, you know, kind of mixed with Blazing Saddles. I mean, maybe not that. Nah. Maybe we should
Where
not.
the White Rangers at?
Maybe we shouldn't explore that one. Maybe that might not be too PG rated.
I don't know. I think Mongo would make a great giant monster.
Never mind that shit.
Goji says, "Oh, what's going on here? Another stream?" And then he says, "Redneck Zordon, Don Tootin, get on and get them giant skeeters, Rangers! Yeehaw!"
Oh man.
Well, I say I need 5 cow poke with attitude. I done saw.
Oh my God! Instead of just his head floating in a tube, it should be like a giant jar of pickles with a
And he's
floating.
bouncing around, plunk, 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 like the DVD loading screen off of each corner, plunk, plunk.
Hey, so I saw the Thunderbolts, and before you groan, Brayton, it's actually pretty good. It is probably the best one that they've made in the last like 5 years or so, I would say.
Yeah. Well, if
not bad.
if you wish to give us a spoiler heavy review, go ahead, or just your initial thoughts.
No. It's basically the Suicide Squad, but with Marvel guys in it, is what it is.
Like, good night, folks.
And, yeah. So if you like Suicide Squad, you'll like this movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically it. You know. Not bad at all. In fact, I would say it's actually kind of refreshing because like the villain, quote unquote, is invincible, so they can't beat him, right? So it's like it's more of a like psychological kind of thing where they just have to like kind of like talk the guy down or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I'm kind of oversimplifying it a lot. I mean, I'm sure if you've been paying attention, you know the villain is the Century, so I'm probably sure you already know that. So it's much more like, you know, they try to fight the Century and they just get their asses handed to them, and it's like, well, how do you win against? It's like fighting Superman. Like, how do you beat Superman, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's actually pretty good. Like what happens is like. It's a lot different than your typical Marvel movie where there's a knockdown, drag-out fight at the end, and you know, because they're kind of formulaic, those movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this one definitely does something different than your usual sort of, you know. So if you're just expecting like another kind of Marvel typical by the numbers thing, it's not close to that.
So there's
It's much
no
more like
giant
Suicide
CGI
Squad.
Skybeam and the groans of a billion overworked animators in the final 20 minutes.
No, it's very much like Suicide Squad. Like you can definitely see the inspiration there. I mean, even down to like where like a character just gets blown away and then that's it. Like kind of like in Suicide Squad, like same kind of thing. Like that's probably the only downside is so one of the characters gets killed and like in a very kind of anticlimactic way.
Mm-hmm. Don't say it's my girl Ghost.
I won't say who it is, but
okay, as long as
it's
Ghost survives. I love her.
But it's kind of the exact same thing that happens in the Suicide Squad. Like if you saw the second Suicide Squad movie where like you know, all the characters get killed at the beginning or whatever. It's kind of like that. It's like you're just like, wait, what? Like she's dead? How the fuck is this? You know? And it's kind of a shock because like the character that dies is one that in a previous movie had like a story arc and everything, which makes me think that okay, maybe they're not really dead because it's kind of an awesome character to just throw away like that, you know? So I'm trying to do this without spoiling it for anybody that may be watching. But it's definitely worth seeing. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Go see the movie. It's like I would say like 8 out of 10. It's pretty good. You know, it's not like the best movie ever, but it's definitely better than like the last couple of Marvel movies. You know, like better than the Marvels, better than you know the Eternals, better than like better than the Captain America one they just made. So.
Yeah, there's like 28 superhero movies, mostly Marvel. I have not seen. So.
Oh yeah.
I'm waiting
for... A lot of the more recent ones have been kind of forgettable.
Yeah, including the streaming shows. I think the last ones I saw were Moon Knight and Loki, and that was it. So, but with that with that said, that's what I love about you, Mark. We can talk superheroes, and you're just like all awesome, positive about it.
What can I say? I like this stuff. But so as far as like I haven't seen the new Daredevil show yet. That's next on the list. But like of the Marvel shows that have been released, like you can skip Echo. That one's kind of meh, you know. Nothing really important happens in it, and it's actually kind of boring. The Agatha All Along, I think, was really good. It's probably it's almost as good as WandaVision. You know, it's got good effects. It's got a great story behind it. So definitely check that one out. I want to see fucking like the next thing I'm gonna watch is Andor season 2 because Andor season 1 was really good. So that's gonna be my next on my list.
Yeah, Brighton, you were a big fan of Rogue One. Have you watched Andor at all?
I have not. I have been bombarded with previews and trailers and everything, and I see that I see that Krennic is back.
So the first Andor season of Andor is probably the best Star Wars thing they've like ever made. Like it's better than The Mandalorian. It fucking rules. It's really good. So, because it's serious. It's like a crime drama kind of thing. You know what I mean? And he's like this innocent man that gets like, you know, wrapped up in all of this fucking bullshit going on. And it really shows you like how corrupt the empire is and like how daily life really sucks under fascism. It's really good. Yeah. So I'm kind of hyped for season 2, you know. So definitely if you're digging, you know, Rogue One, like dude, check out fucking Andor, dude.
If there's anything in the Wars verse that I will go back to, it's that it does kind of feel like going back to the scene of an abuser or whatever, going back to the franchise at this point. That is right. That's something in the world that I would be at least half interested. Same thing with I still haven't seen a frame of the Penguin. I want to watch Penguin.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that yet either. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in that realm, those are 2 that are on my list. And I won't put down Thunderbolts. I see that Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Bill Pullman's son are in it. Are these the people who were in the? I recognize the chubby guy in red. Were these the people in the Black Widow movie?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah. So something good came of that.
Yeah. All see right. that movie was kind of. Yeah, mediocre, but this one definitely is much better. Yeah, well, and so the chubby guy in red is the Red Guardian. He kind of steals the show a little bit. You know, fucking Red Guardian rules. He's awesome. So
yeah, okay, played by David Harbour. All right, so
Frankenstein's monster.
What?
Oh no, David Harbour did a short film called Frankenstein's Monster.
What?
Really?
Yeah, it's
Herman Munster's Munster.
yeah, no, it's a mockumentary about a man who did a version who David Harbour plays the star and director of a Frankenstein movie that was never released because he was a monster on set. Yeah, it's on Netflix currently, but it's like only 30 minutes long. It's a pretty funny movie. So,
Right on.
yeah.
Okay.
Obscure. Take that, Star Wars. Skeleton Crew
Not
isn't
to
half
not
bad
to mention
either.
strangers. Not to mention Stranger Things in the same night, but he was
Oh, yeah.
also dude from Stranger Things.
Yeah, I have not kept up with that show, man. I watched the first 2 seasons. I don't know. Is it worth like going on with it?
Not a clue in the world, because that's where I stopped, where
Oh, really?
where he dies, and spoiler for season 2, I think, and then he doesn't die because he's back in the second. So I didn't watch beyond then. Now that all the kids are 30, I don't, this a bit of the charm wears off. It's no longer that sort of fun Stephen King, Steven Spielberg, Nancy Drew mystery type of thing. Now they're angsty, and I don't want any part of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll pick it up, but there's like so much good television out there that it's like you only have so many hours in a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to spend like all night watching TV, so it's like I gotta kind of pick and choose.
And I get very confrontational and contrarian whenever people suggest something new to me, because it's almost like every other day it's something else. So I will get around to the things that are good in time. That's my stance on a lot of things. Once the hype around it dies down, the internet discourse dies down, because I feel like with Stranger Things, if you go back and revisit it, it may be a good show, it may not, or whatever, but that was such like a zeitgeist type of show when that came out. If I want to keep up with it, I may go back and watch that 20 years from now or something to see, like, because it's same thing with like I've never seen a frame of Lost. I mean, I was far too young for it when it went off the air, but that's another thing where I'm just curious if it was like, did that just grab the attention of the culture at the time, or was it actually really well done storytelling? I don't know.
First, it is. But from what I understand, like I haven't finished it, but from what I understand, it kind of runs out of steam.
Right.
But the first season and probably part of the second season, like I got up to season 3. It's like really good. Like the first season, just the way that the storytelling is, and like how you sort of figure out people's backstories, and it like enriches what's going on, is like not bad at all. But from what I understand, it starts getting really convoluted. So I don't know. It's like you're saying, it's one of those things like, maybe one day when I'm like 86 or whatever, and there's like nothing else going on, like maybe I'll turn it on,
finally check that one off. But I'm wondering if that's an interesting conversation point. Are you more predisposed to like something if you're prepped beforehand that it has a shitty ending? Or like, or does that sort of devalue it in your mind? Like, if you know for a fact going in, if you haven't watched the, Lost all the way through, or you haven't watched Game of Thrones, or any number of things, Walking Dead, whatever, but you know beforehand that it ends terribly, are you still willing to sit it out?
It goes down on the list. I'll put it that way. Like, so Game of Thrones, like, I don't know if have you watched Game of Thrones?
No.
It's worth watching, but the last season blows ass.
Sucks.
The last they fuck it up so bad, like
sucks.
And but it's
Sucks.
When it starts, it's awesome. Like it's really good, and then that's what just makes it so tragic, because you're just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, no, like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I guess, if you want to see, like, what Game of Thrones has? It has really good scenes in it. Like there's a scene called the Red Wedding, which is like
famous scene.
Yeah, that one, damn. And then there's the part where Arya Stark like gets revenge for the Red Wedding. Like, it's like, holy shit. Like, like Arya Stark is like, what's her name? I can't remember her name. But
little girl, man.
The little girl, yeah, whatever, Maisie, I can't remember her name is, but she like kills people in very satisfying ways, I guess, throughout the whole series.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it becomes like a highlight. Like, you can't wait to see who she's gonna kill next. You know, like you're like, oh, dude, Arya's gonna kill that guy, or whatever. So that's like really kind of cool. But yeah, then it starts falling apart, and you can tell when it's rushed, and then they start making dumb decisions. And it's like, oh, and then the last fucking episode just sucks. It's like,
Yeah,
man.
at that point, I will search out, like, if there's a popular fan thing
Uh-huh.
going around of like, wow, they should have ended it here. I will search
Yeah.
out that and then stop watching at that point.
Right.
But that's a safe bet.
But it is worth it. It's so good that I actually bought it on Blu-ray because I like didn't have HBO at the time, so I bought like the first like 7 seasons and then never bought seasons 8 and 9. So
okay,
definitely like yeah, but you know what? It can go low because it's going to be a bad ending, but you kind of want to watch it anyway. But then you're just like, I'd say it should go down on the list. You know what I mean? Like.
Mm-hmm.
It's so bad that they made a new show, and like I'm just not motivated to watch the new show. The Targaryens or whatever.
Right. I think I watched the first episode of that actually, and I haven't watched the original.
Yeah. Is it any good? I mean,
I remember liking it well enough. I don't know. I haven't gotten into the show, so I don't have a lot of personal baggage like going into that. But I get around to it type of thing.
Yeah.
For me, that show.
Yeah. Can I give my answer?
Yes, you're the host.
Thank you.
You may say what you need, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
For
So
laughing so much.
here's the thing with me. I have this weird habit where I don't like watching shows that people recommend to me. Especially
hence
when
the
they're
movie
like,
Graveyard Shift.
Yeah, especially when they're like overly popular and they're still running. But I've noticed that if I wait long enough, I tend to watch TV shows after they're done with their run. So instead of waiting week by week for a new episode to see if it goes good or bad, and often it goes bad because that's the thing with modern television. The first few episodes might be great, but then it trails off because they just want to grab the critics and get critical praise for the first few episodes they send out. That's why a lot of streaming shows start out strong, but then just ends up on a wet fart. But I've noticed that I usually discover shows I like well into like their 3rd or 4th season or when they're towards their end. There was like one show I got into big time recently where it was basically on its final season. I was kind of happy I waited that long. But another example is I kind of became a big fan of Smiling Friends after waiting for their first 2 seasons to finish. And I was surprised how, unlike Rick and Morty or other Adult Swim shows, it's absurdist humor, but it's kind of, in its own bizarre way, kind of absurdist, lighthearted absurdism. Absurdity, I should say. Or lighthearted surrealism, even when there are some really dark jokes, like the episode where they basically meet a Hobbit-like character who turns out to be a killer, like a really fucked up stalker of a princess.
Right.
Yeah, I won't explain how they come to that conclusion, but it's a great ending and how the way it ends too. But at the same time, though, I think I'm after being kind of burned by so many streaming shows where it just takes forever to get from point A to point A and 3/4. Lost and Surface being the big offenders in that regard. Surface, by the way, is a terrible show. I think I'm kind of falling back in love with older episodic television, especially if it's actually well made. And I hate to say it, I've been binging Deep Space Nine like nightly for the last 2 months now. And granted, I haven't been watching in order. I've been skipping here and there, but holy crap, have I fallen in love with that show like crazy. Oh
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Deep Space Nine is the best of classic Trek.
I know,
say.
ridiculously so. And it's funny too because you think it shouldn't work because they're stuck on a space station.
Where's the ship?
Yeah, exactly. But that gives
Where's the ship, Mansley?
But
have you seen the whole show all the way through, Raph?
Yes, almost every episode. There's a couple ones I skipped, like the one where Quark dresses in drag because he becomes a woman.
Dude, go watch that one. What are you doing?
Because you don't want to be turned on that late at night, too.
Yeah.
Dude, what are you doing, dude? All right, first off, go watch that episode because it's hilarious. Okay, that's first thing.
Some like it Quark. You know?
That one rules, dude. What are you talking about? Like anything with Quark and Garrick are like, they kind of carry that show, man.
Yeah, no, I like Quark quite a bit, and I've seen all the other Ferengi episodes. I especially love Bar Association, which that's the episode where Quark's brother Rom begins a strike, and it's actually it's a really good political satire episode that goes into places that modern television doesn't dare to go, because modern television is so darn centrist. But no, yeah, I fall in love with Deep Space Nine, and holy crap, it's okay. The main heroes, the good guys, are great on that show, especially since you get to spend a lot of time with them. But holy crap, it also is like the Star Trek show with the most like recurring great villains. It's
dude, definitely.
Oh my god, Gul Dukat, Wei Lun, Dumar, Wei Lin, the female changeling, the Jemadar, Salone of Section 31. It's like what an incredible. Oh, and Galron.
Galron.
Yeah, crazy.
So my favorite scene in that whole show is when Wei-Yun has Jadzia Dax and Worf captured. And they're like, you know, oh, you're going to be executed tomorrow or whatever. And then he gets a little too close, and then Worf reaches up and snaps his neck and kills him. Right? And then Damar kind of leans over and just starts laughing. Like, starts laughing because he killed, you know, he's like, they'll just make another one, you know.
Yeah. Wei Lun, by the way, Brayton, and audience, he's basically a clone that he's like the Kenny of the show. He keeps getting killed, but they keep bringing him back.
You know.
And he's played by Jeffrey Combs too. Speaking of which, Liquidator Brunt is also a great villain, but he's more of like a more comical, lighthearted villain too.
Totally.
Yeah, but no, that show has like a lot of great characters on it, ridiculously so. But I fall in love with Deep Space Nine immensely, and it's like, even knowing it is episodic, I think the best TV shows is when it's a mix of episodic episodes, but also a continuing storyline throughout. I remember,
like, as soon as the war starts, it starts becoming more like there's more continuity.
Yes.
You know, like, as soon as they start fighting, and, you know, then you start getting ones that like pick up right after the end of the last one, and for sure. Yeah,
and it's like, and a lot of like plot points and episodes you think don't connect will interconnect later. Like, I really love how they handled Section 31 a lot better than what other versions of Star Trek has done with the series. I have not seen the Michelle Yeoh movie, but I've heard a lot of horrible things about it.
Oh, I heard it sucks.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna watch it, but I heard it sucks. So, I don't know.
Oh my god. So, but no, for the most part, it's like after being burned by so many streaming shows where nothing happens. Like, I know there was like a lot of Netflix shows I tried getting into, and they were just slogs that go nowhere. So now, I either stick with shows that are more episodic or more short form. Granted, though, it's like there are some shows that will never end. It's like, they claim One Piece is going to end this year, but I doubt it.
I kind of stopped on One Piece. Like,
I understand.
Me and Cammy, we watched all the way from the beginning all the way up until the end of Wano. And then, like, they moved up into, it took like 5 years to watch all these, right?
Oh my god.
And then so now we ended when they're on Egghead Island or whatever, and I kind of just I don't know, man. It's like, all right, it just keeps going and going, and I'm like, okay, maybe we'll wait a little while and then finish it up when it starts to end. You know what I mean? Because the first thing is that each episode only has like 5 minutes of new material in it. Like, you know what I mean? No, seriously.
I believe you. It's like they play episodes of One Piece back to back, and it's like the first 15 minutes is just a recap of what happened.
Yeah, just a recap of what happened last time, and then like half of it is just like it'll be a fight that uses the same like animation that they showed 17 times or whatever, and then there's like maybe 5 or 6 minutes of new story.
Oh my god, I hate to say it, but One Piece is almost as bad as old 30s serials, where they leave on cliffhangers where a character literally dies, and then it's like, wait, that didn't happen. This is a completely different circumstance.
And I hate to say it, and I'm sorry to interject here, but a little known fact, the original title for Lost was Stranded on Egghead Island. Thank you.
But, well, no, so there's another One Piece anime that's starting over from the beginning that's going to have better animation, right? So first off, new modern animation all the way, because if you start at season 1, that shit came out in like 1999, so it's really dated, you know
Well,
what
yeah,
I mean?
it makes a Hanna-Barbera cartoon look active
Right.
by comparison.
So that's the first thing. It's going to be cleaner, it's going to be closer to the manga, and it's going to cut out all of the fluff and like filler. So it'll probably not be, 1,500 episodes or whatever like the current series is, but so now there's going to be two One Piece animes going at the same time.
My God.
Right. So if you haven't seen the current one, just wait for the second one. It'll be faster. Like
that's
there
way
won't
too,
be
that's way too much bikinis and ugly giants. I can't stand this anymore.
there won't be so in fucking what was the prison that they go to, Water 7, not Water 7, Impel Down.
Yeah, they have two prison arcs. So yeah, this is not easy.
Yeah, so there's an episode where it's the one where Robin is like being press ganged back into working for CP9.
Mm-hmm.
And she finally goes, "Luffy, help me!" Right? And and at the time, this is before Jinji joins them, right? Or Jinbei joins them, excuse me.
Yeah, that's
only
the Manta Ray man, right?
Yeah,
okay.
and before Brooke joins them, so there's only 8. And right at that part, they do 8 episodes straight of everybody's backstory, and it's filler, right?
Mm-hmm.
But right at the climax, right when the big fight is about to start, 8 flashback episodes, and you're just like, oh god damn! Like, did you guys choose a different place to put the filler, please? Like I remember we were like watching this and like, okay, skip this one, skip this one, skip this one. That was ugh.
Yeah, and it's even more insane because they've already done the backstories in other episodes. So that was just Jesus Christ. Yeah, so it's between anime and American television and streaming shows is why it's like I think I've fallen out of love with both television. So I'm going to read these comments quickly. Goji Shea says, I wish they would have waited to cast David Harbour as the Thing. He would have been perfect for Ben Grimm. Or Ben Graham. I don't know how you say that. I was really...
Grimm.
He also
Ben
says...
Grimm.
Yes, Ben Grimm.
The Thing.
Right.
He says, he also says, I was really into Game of Thrones, so good until that damn last season. Tell me about it. Spit.
Oh, yeah.
And then he says, I've thought about watching the X-Files from start to finish, so yeah, hearing how poor that show got towards the end has me wary about it.
That's a common sentiment, but absolutely worth it.
Oh yeah, At least watch what is it, like the first 4 seasons?
Seasons 2 through 5 are pretty darn masterful in terms of what they do, and that'll be whenever the next episode of Twitch Night, when we do our TV show themed thing. I will choose X-Files, and we'll watch 2 or 3 episodes of that.
Oh yeah, so we can do that very soon, because that would be a great replacement for 100% Weird. And I would like to show you some, like either Doctor Who or Deep Space Nine, or
it's nowhere near as good as Ultra Q, but it's good. To quote someone we know.
Did you ever watch because they brought it back for like 2 seasons, right? Yeah. Is that any good? Because I mean,
there's a handful of okay ones, but it does really stink of cash grab, a lot of it.
So is the cigarette smoking man alive, or what?
Yep.
Like, how did he live? Because they blew his ass up.
They blew him away.
So...
Yeah,
he went to rehab.
So, but did they just not blow him up? Did they kill a clone or something? Like,
I don't. I don't remember the particulars of it, but again, there are a handful. There's a really goofy one with a monster that especially Raph would love. Like this guy who lives out in the woods and is pretty much just a spaz who looks scary, But it doesn't feel right. Like the quality of it almost seems like parody done with a straight face. I'm not so sold on that.
Yeah,
I liked the
I used to love the show. I mean, back in the day.
Oh, it's one of my absolute favorites.
I mean, and even though they should have ended it when fucking David Duchovny quit or whatever. But
Yeah, and I was gonna say I liked the movie
yeah,
from
movie was
like
good too.
'98. Yeah, pretty good.
But I mean, at least the last episode of the first run was actually pretty good.
Hmm.
Like, and at least I mean, yeah, they should have ended it when like the main characters were moving on. Like, it was time to end it, but yeah, it ended on a good note. You know. Then they made that movie where like the guy's head gets fucking replaced or whatever, and it was like, what? Like, that just kind of felt like a episode. It didn't actually like do anything to. You ever see that one? Like the second movie they made?
Is that with Billy Colony or Collie? What's his name? British dude?
I don't know, but it's about like these doctors that like they develop a way to transplant people's heads. It's really kind of like you would think for like it's not a bad movie, but you would think for an X-Files movie, it's going to be about aliens and stuff.
Mark,
Oh,
And-
X-Files. I
star
want
Ray
to believe
Milland?
from the cursed year that Raph and I have
Mhm.
talked about of 2008. Yeah,
Yeah.
X-Files. I want to believe.
Yeah, that one. It's like
Mm.
it's like it kind of like that movie just seems like okay, they just had a leftover X-Files script that
Yeah.
they just like decided to turn into a movie. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really do much to further the lore around,
Mm-hmm.
especially since at that point there hadn't like the show had been off the air for like a good decade or so. You know what I mean? Like, so anyway,
I think the
Not that
plan
it
was
was-
just to kind of continue the series as a series of films, but yeah, that does sound
right.
like a really weak episode of the no, not of the Twilight Zone, of the X-Files. But it also sounds like you sure Ray Milland was not starring in it, Mark.
I can't remember.
Ray Milland was probably dead for 40 years by that point.
Oh.
I know,
So
but
you know.
you get the joke, Brayton, because Ray Milland,
Oh,
he
I
starred
have
in
no
a
idea
movie
what you're
called
talking about.
the Thing with Two Heads, where he's a white
Oh.
racist rich man whose head is grafted onto the back of a fugitive black ex-convict. So
I do know that movie, but I've never actually seen it. I've just seen like
Watch The
clips of
Manster
it.
instead. Watch How to
So-
Get Ahead in Advertising.
Syra, your jokes are too obscure for me, dude. I don't get them. I'm sorry.
I know. We're doing two-headed movies tonight.
It's a double header.
Yes, double header. Hey, ow.
Did you
Fun button. Fun button.
Yeah, but no. Oh, hold on. Let me find the pun button.
Thanks. Indulge me.
Okay, there we go.
There we are.
That's a real thing. Oh,
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
found this. I found this at a thrift store with my friend Lewis. I don't know if it was a part of a video game.
You found Lewis at the thrift store then too. That makes sense.
Hi, buddy, buy me and take me
Hey
home.
guys, I'm a steal. Yeah.
So yeah, the pun button has been with me ever since. So
Oh, should we also mention to Mark we had a long stream last time before this? Well, two streams before this. We were talking about how treacherous it is to get to your house, and we were thinking of making a Mark board game called "You'll Never Leave Mark's Alive," where it's like Candyland, but like with a Dungeons and Dragons type feel, where we build like little plastic props with drawbridges and stuff to your house.
yeah, shouldn't it be
we
called
need- we
"You'll
need your
Never Get
rights
to
to
Mark's
sign
House Alive"?
Yeah, you'll never make it to Mark's house alive or something.
I know. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Me and Lewis talked about how we drove in the rain and we got lost around your neighborhood, and we discovered areas of Los Angeles that felt like something out of Italian Mad Max ripoffs. Yeah, it's like we didn't tell.
Oh my god.
Yeah, at one point, yeah, it looks like crappy post-apocalyptic '80s cinema. I'm
Did you
surprised.
guys end up in like fucking Pacoima or something? Like, didn't you go in the opposite direction?
Yeah, we went to an opposite direction, and all of a sudden, it's like we found ourselves like underneath wooden bridges that were pouring water everywhere. It's like, where are we?
No, but for real, like, where did you end up?
I don't know.
No, but
Okay.
yeah,
You live in a
my
weird
house
place.
ain't that hard to find. Kind of, sort of.
Yeah, well, we got the wrong address, so we ended up all over
Mm.
the place. So I think we got lost beyond the mountains. Goji Shea says 2008, a cursed year. Come on, that year gave us Hellboy 2 and Wall-E. And then Goji Shea also says, go also see Man with the X-Ray Eyes and Frogs for more Ray Milland movies. So,
Frogs.
2008
Never actually
also
seen that.
gave us, for the record, Meet the Spartans, The Love Guru, Disaster Movie, The Happening, 10,000 Years BC. I'm pretty sure that one of the Hangover movies.
Didn't the Dark Knight come out that year?
Batman ain't saving you from The Love Guru.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
Oh,
That's
boy.
true.
The Day the
10,000
Earth Stood
BC
Still
was shitty.
remake, 10,000 BC, yeah. Paul Blart
10
Mall Cop. You know,
10,000
yeah.
BC was, that was disappointing.
yeah, and that was...
And
God.
The Happening, M. Night Shyamalan's Wind movie.
What? No.
Yeah,
No.
that one was pretty bad. Yeah.
How's your mother, Tree?
My mom's not doing too good. She's not gonna. Come on, do the tree from Wizard of Oz rap.
Okay, hold on. I gotta get into character.
My mom and mother not going making it to Christmas.
You're trying to grab my apple. That's not your apple to grab. Go
Back off, Marky Mark.
Hey, Mark, it's me, the apple from the Wizard of Oz.
We could remake The Happening with this Mark, with Mark Rivers, and it'd be good.
Talking to
what?
the talking tree from the Wizard of Oz. I want to infect you with some evil spirits.
Yeah. Well, Mark, you have like a perfect everyman charisma, so I think we could plug you into
thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you would fit seamlessly into any M. Night Shyamalan movie, and you would save it. He could thank you for a second career.
Except for the last Airbender, there's nothing that's going to save that piece of shit.
Oh, the Airbender?
I was about to mention. Yeah, that's.
When did that came out? That seems like a 2008 movie.
It sounds like, yeah, it probably is a 2008 movie. So
I actually bought that on DVD for $1.
Oh,
and
you
Cammy
poor
told
man.
me that Cammy told me I wasted my money. Right.
It's 99 cents wasted.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot of pennies.
No, so I forced myself to watch it. Yeah, it's pretty freaking horrible.
I know, and I haven't
But-
heard much good things about the Netflix series either. Just leave Avatar alone. Leave it as anime.
Actually, no. Netflix series, not bad. Not bad. Way better. Way, like, not even the same universe as this movie. Like, Netflix series is actually watchable. And a pretty good adaptation. I mean, pretty good, which is still not saying it's great, but it's you cannot compare it to that shitty ass movie. Not even close.
Mhm.
I used to think The Last Airbender was Naruto, and I apologize. I think they were the same thing.
Same difference.
I don't know.
Well,
All right,
there's
I got a show for you, Ref.
okay.
And Brayton, I don't know if you're into anime, so fucking Solo Leveling. Have you guys seen that?
No.
Dude.
It sounds like Han Solo doing home improvement work or
All
something.
right. Solo Leveling is the best thing, like the best anime on TV right now. I will stand by that 100%.
Yeah, that's what half
It
my
is
friends said
like-
about Naruto until they gave up on it.
Dude, fucking Solo Leveling is compelling. You know what I mean? Like, it's seriously like edge of your seat, kind of like what is going to happen next, kind of compelling. And you still don't know if it's like all in this guy's head, if it's real, like what's going on. Like they really tell you nothing about like what's actually happening, and you just kind of have to piece things together, and it's freaking awesome. Definitely worth watching. So
Can
Anyway.
you explain the plot in like 2 sentences?
no. Well, kind of. In 2 sentences.
Or just a small paragraph.
So dungeons appear and people get powers, and one guy suddenly becomes the main character and levels up when everybody else can.
Mm.
And that's kind of it. But it's like, that's why it's called Solo Leveling. But it's so, yeah. Dude, fucking watch this anime, dude. It's really good.
Right. This is not the same series where like magical dungeons are treated like amusement park rides.
No.
Okay,
No,
that's
no.
that's another anime.
Here, I can help you out really quick if you like. In a world where hunters, humans who possess magical abilities, must battle deadly monsters to protect the human race from certain annihilation, a notoriously weak hunter named Sung Jin Woo finds himself in a seemingly endless struggle for survival. One day, after narrowly surviving an overwhelmingly powerful double dungeon that nearly wipes out his entire party, a mysterious program called the System chooses him as its sole player, and in turn gives him the extremely rare ability to level up in strength, possibly beyond any known limits. Jinwoo then sets out on a journey as he fights against all kinds of enemies, both man and monster, to discover the secrets of the dungeons and the true source of his powers.
Yes.
Brayton,
Best thing ever.
Yeah,
and
okay. Brayton,
unironically telling you this.
Yes, Brayton,
Right.
thank you very much for that dramatic reading, but no offense, it doesn't matter how you describe a plot to an anime, you're doomed either way.
Double dungeon, double dragon, double dare.
Dude, you guys do not know what you are missing. I'll just put it that way. Okay. I don't want to say anything else because it is the best fucking thing I've seen in like years.
Well, I'm still waiting for season 2 of Love After World Domination. Okay.
Well, I appreciate it because when I solo, it isn't level, so my solos need leveling, and I will I need help in that direction. So yeah, is it on the Crunchyroll service that I hear so much about? Okay, good.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Go watch it.
Yeah.
All right, viewers, back me up. The show rules.
Goji Shay, back him up.
Tell Raph that he has to watch the show, man.
Sure.
I'm looking at an empty potato chip bag right now, and it kind of looks like a whale shark. That's just my scientific observation for you right now.
Goji Shay says, Gen Wu, wasn't that the scientist guy from First Spaceship to Venus? Oh, that's right. There is a Chinese dude in that one, so...
This one's Korean, though.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It is a co-production with Korea, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the language is Japanese, but the characters, like, it takes place in Korea. The characters are Korean. So.
Yeah, but Korea's been doing a lot of their anime shows, too, so...
Yeah.
Good
but
for
yeah,
Korea.
it's Korean.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
Yes. Korea's the
What else I've been watching? What have you been watching, Brayton?
Oh, well, I mean, I'm waiting for Poker Face to come back on. That comes on back to Peacock May 8th. That is absolutely my favorite thing in the world currently going. But and as far as movies and stuff go, the other night I just watched for the first time In the Line of Fire with Clint Eastwood and Mr. Malkovich.
It's a good flick.
It is very good. It's very good. Wolfgang Peterson directed it. It's Clint Eastwood. You know, he's old, but he's right before that point where he becomes too old to do running and things of that nature. And they make it a point in the movie that he's out, he's out of step and he's sweating really hard when, but no, it's really good. The funny thing about it though is my fellow friend Skylar and I were talking about The Mule, which is a more recent movie he made that I haven't seen, but supposedly he has two sex scenes in that movie, now at age 112 or however old Clint Eastwood is. And as soon as we got off the phone, I watched that movie, and he has kind of a lovemaking scene with this woman who's, another CIA operative who's like 30 years younger than him. And I'm like, wow, have always and forever with the uncomfortable lovemaking sequences. That man. And Clint Eastwood back in his day, he was a stud, no, not to say that, but like at a certain point, when you get to a certain age, I think as an action star or something, you've got to tell the studio to start leveling up the age of your co-stars. I don't know. Because that man is old enough to be Moses, and he's macking on some girl that's way, way, way too... Yeah.
Right. I think when someone is less than half of your age, maybe that's like the cutoff point.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm old enough to be your great grandfather. Maybe we shouldn't be pairing together here.
Every time I climb in bed with you, I'm afraid I may be arrested for involuntary manslaughter.
That reminds me of like, okay, so Mad TV, they had this really disturbing sketch where it was like Sean Connery is still like making movies where he's making love to an actress much younger than him. But it's like it's like he's covered in like hideous white fur. And he's constantly making fart noises every time they try to film. So
Matt, just put yourself in her position. It'd be like having sex with the grandpa from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, who's all slumped over.
I was going to say, like,
you got to get excited about that.
Yeah, a giant sculpture made of beef jerky, which does not sound fun.
So
and they're trying to manipulate his penis the same way that they're trying to get his hammer, like the hammer in his hand in that scene. Just come on, Grandpa, you can.
I was thinking they'd just wrap a string around it and like move it with marionettes, like.
How magical! Okay,
where's my stunt team? Huzzah! Lift it up, boy.
It was a good movie, though. It's a very good movie, and I recommend it to everybody. John Malkovich, I think it was like one of his big breakout things. Yeah. And he goes through like several different disguises in the movie. He's very terrifying.
Yeah. Makes like a gun out of plastic or whatever, and
yes, like a two little Lego piece type of gun that turns into a deadly weapon, and it's very, very suspenseful at the end because he's like dropping bullets underneath the table and he's got to reach down. It's a very lean, mean motion picture that we don't make anymore. So like seek that out, people.
It's like, why do you want to shoot the president? Why'd you shoot those ducks, asshole?
Exactly. That's such a great scene.
It's a great line. But...
And it opens in the very first scene. You have the guy, I don't know the actor's name, but the guy who plays Jigsaw in Saw. He is in it pre-Saw, I think. So very shortly, very briefly, he just gets arrested in an undercover thing. But it also has another great occurrence, and I won't spoil too many things, but of the cliche, there is an officer who says, I'm a day from retirement, and I'm going to go home, and I'm going to hug my wife and hug the kids. And guess what happens? Because
he turns into a pony?
Yes.
Cops
and
are
then
never
rides
allowed
off.
to retire in movies,
No. They're never allowed to retire alive, and they're always too old for that shit. That's the law.
Totally.
As I understand it. Raph, what have you been watching since we've taken a week-long hiatus from the movie Graveyard Shift?
Good point. Have I seen any weird movies lately? Oh, damn it.
Have you seen any weird people out your window lately? Life is a movie.
All the time. I keep seeing, like I told you about that really short woman who rides a motorcycle, the one I mistaked for a robot once.
Why don't you speak to her?
She's too fast. I'm not that quick.
She's a little motorized toy. Didn't you think that she was a special high-tech toy? That she wasn't even a human being.
Yeah, I had my own almost semi-cryptid moment. Okay, I'll talk about the story in a little bit.
Wait, this is a real thing? I thought you were joking.
No, it's
there
real.
Really is a little woman on a motorcycle.
Yeah. First off, Goji Shea says Tobin Bell. That's the name of the Jigsaw actor you're thinking of.
That's him. Yep.
Yeah, and he says no new recent movies for me, guys. But no, okay, because I haven't really seen anything recent. I've just been watching Deep Space Nine and Doctor Who left and right. But no, okay. So what happened was one morning I went outside in the front yard just to kind of stretch my legs and get some air in the early morning cold, and then from down the street road, this very short woman, all dressed in blue leather, a blue helmet covering her face, and she was on a small wooden cycle or something like that. And I swear she was smaller than 3 feet. So she passed by, and I was so confused by what I just saw. It's like, was that an alien or a robot or a very large remote control toy someone was controlling?
Wait, so was she like a dwarf or what?
She might be a dwarf, or she's just one of those people who's between being a dwarf and just being very, very short. But no, she was ridiculously short. So much so that I even thought that maybe she was like a child who was riding on a moped illegally. And she did this a couple more times throughout the weeks to come. And it's what is that thing? It's am I looking at basically the Colorado gasser or some weird cryptid or Spring Hill Jack?
It's Toddler Tron.
Yes, exactly. That's an excellent name for her, Toddler Tron. So and then like it only like about 6 months after that did I see like a very short woman riding that same moped, and both to my relief and my disappointment, it's like, oh, she's human. Okay, I thought I was like looking at an alien the whole time. But yeah, no, and I've seen her pass by before, but she could be like a teenager, she could be an adult. Either way, I'm not going to run up and say, "Hey, you, stop, robot Tron woman."
No, just stand in the middle of the road and say, "You shall not pass," and see what happens.
Exactly.
She rides under your legs. No, I like the idea though that you invented for yourself that she was like some weird like Robo Sapien sharper image toy that someone was piloting.
So is she seriously like 2 feet tall? Like
no, a little
How
under 3
tiny?
feet tall. But no, she is tiny. She is a tiny woman. She is a full-grown woman.
Is she cute?
I don't. She's not bad looking. I'll say that. But no,
Would Clint Eastwood kick her out of bed for chewing crackers?
if she doesn't get trapped between in the forest of Clint Eastwood's chest hair, I guess.
Oh my God, Clint Eastwood, the man with no shame.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new
Touch my butt. Yeah. That's my impression of Clint Eastwood making a love scene.
How come your Clint Eastwood is just your tree from The Wizard of Oz?
I'm not a tree. Now eat the peaches off my chest. Oh, those are my skin tags. Mm.
Dude, I feel lucky. Punk.
Yeah.
Oh God.
You feel lucky, punk.
Because I feel poopy. I need change.
Change my legs.
So I went to Universal Studios last week,
Ah.
and they have this fandom thing going on where there's like it's kind of like you know when they do the Halloween walk to haunted houses.
Yes.
It's kind of like that, but instead of it being a haunted house, it's like the Enterprise, you know. Which was pretty good. There's like a Star Trek sort of walkthrough thing, and like, you know, it's kind of like not bad looking, but then they didn't put anything on the ceiling. So like you're supposed to be in the Enterprise, but if you look up, you see like studio lights.
Well,
and,
it's like being
you
on
know,
set. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
kind of like that, you know.
Now,
So
if it's like being
alright.
on a Star Trek set, does that mean Patrick Stewart and we'll say Michael Dorn are just stand in the middle of the hallway and you have to squeeze through them?
No.
Yeah.
Unfortunately not. But
There's a lot of cigarette
Um,
smoke and Gene Roddenberry harassing women in short skirts.
Black tape
Run a-
everywhere, and like
So-
like a really annoying guy from Minnesota pointing him out. It's black
But,
tape.
it was okay. So yeah, they had that. There was
Brayton got that joke.
Dungeons and Dragons thing, which was actually very impressive because
Oh, does that have the
there's
beholder?
one, yeah, and the beholder is like 12 feet tall. Like it was like really big.
Yeah, the beholder, by
like,
the way, is a
actually-
floating, multi-eyed, super intelligent, supernatural being who is often mistaken for a demon but isn't.
Nerd.
Yes. The beholder effects were like actually really good. Like you could tell this is where all the money went, you know, for the when they did this. And then there was like a Jujutsu Kaisen movie which kind of sucked. And because they like made like a special movie, but it was horrible. It blew. And then the Back to the Future thing where they took, so I guess they actually filmed part of Hill Valley, like in Back to the Future. They actually filmed it on the back lot there.
Yeah, of course.
Like the whole thing
big
with
courtyard.
with the you know, the clock tower and everything.
Yeah, that's the same courtyard from the opening of Gremlins.
Yeah. So what they did was that at night, like they stopped the normal tram ride and then took you to that
Oh, that's
Hill
why I've
Valley
been
thing?
seeing. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been seeing cell phone videos of like the actors
Yeah.
dressed as Marty and the Doc running around and people
Right.
meandering. Yes.
So so you got to get out and walk around, and they had like the band from the, you know, Enchantment and the Undersea Dance playing,
Oh wow.
and there were little carnival games and stuff, and then like you could see the part where the flaming tires and the spinning license plate was like spinning. And it was kind of cool. It's like, oh, you've gone back in time to Hill Valley, and you know, then you get to see a little stage performance of the last like scene where, you know, DeLorean takes off. So that was kind of cool.
Oh, how
like, the whole
fun. You
Phantom
did
Menace
that?
thing. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
last weekend. It was pretty cool.
Huh.
But the so I haven't been to Universal Studios in like literally fucking 15 years. So like the Harry Potter thing was new, you
Ah.
know, like I guess that's been out for like a decade now,
Yeah,
but
they
I've never
destroyed Jaws.
Yeah.
They destroyed that entire.
Yeah, the
Another
Jaws thing
reason
was
to
like
hate.
not working.
I guess the Jaws
But,
was a transgendered shark.
Right. So anyway, so like the thing is like I'd never seen the Harry Potter land. It's like a land that they made, you know what I mean? Like a whole section. Like it's really impressive, you know. And I know like J.K. Rowling's has been really problematic over the last couple of years with
No
like her whole
Oh
like
yeah,
she's
she's probably
trans
going to
stuff.
lead. She's probably going to be single-handedly responsible, indirectly and directly, for a
Yeah.
lot of horrific crimes to come. But yeah, go on.
Yeah. So, you know, I kind of felt a little conflicted because like I couldn't help but sort of fanboy out a little bit when, you know, because like the Hogwarts, like so first off, you walk into the thing, like I don't know if you've been there, Raph or Brayton, if you guys have been there since they
Oh.
opened it. But it looks really good. Like so you're walking around in like downtown fucking Diagon
Yeah,
Alley or
Diagon
whatever.
Alley. Mm-hmm.
And in the windows of each little shop there's like stuff going on, like so there's one that's like a exotic plant shop and there's like Venus fly traps like moving around and like you know, and then there's another one that's like a cake shop and there's like this display of like floating cupcakes and shit, so it's like, oh, that looks pretty cool. And then you can go into the wand store, obviously, which, you know, they're just selling toys and shit, right? And like this restaurant, which was fucking delicious. Like, oh my God, it was so good. This sort of like, you know, and they had like British stuff, like butter, you know, like fucking bangers and mash and that kind of thing, and shepherd's pie or whatever.
Butter
fucking
balls on a stick. All their
It's
wonderful.
fucking delicious. It
Yeah.
was so good. And they had butter beer. I'm like, what the hell is butter beer? And it's like butterscotch soda.
Mm-hmm.
It was it was fucking delicious. It was really good. And the Harry Potter ride is like amazing. You know, like so you go into Hogwarts and it's all dark and there's all this like evil shit everywhere, like specimens of like monsters and jars and stuff, you know?
And photographs of
around.
J.K. Rowling's herself.
Right. And you know, of course there's like the talking paintings and that kind of thing, right? But like the set dressing was like really like you go into the classroom for the dark, you know, Defense Against the Dark Arts, and there's all these like you know, like dead fairies like in fucking jars and shit
Oh, so
like that.
J.K. Rowling would love it then.
Exactly. Oh God. But you know, but that kind of thing. So it was like, and I felt kind of bad. I'm like, you know, I don't want to give her any money, but they already built it,
Yeah.
so I'm not really giving her money.
Yeah, I mean,
You
look, I
know,
don't. I mean, it's hard, and I understand that, but like with an author, I can divorce her from my enjoyment of it. You know, I'm a gay person. Some of the dearest people I know in my
Right.
life are trans. But all she did was create the sandbox. She created, and I'm not, you know, for her to allow somebody to take away and destroy all the hard work from everybody else who made those movies, you know, beloved by a whole generation of kids and everything, I think is wrong. So I don't feel guilt about that. You know,
I guess that's a
and
good
she
way
didn't
of
build
looking at
any
it.
of that. You know, she
Right.
wasn't there with a hammer and, you know, a toolkit building any of
Right.
that or any of those rides. So she can, you know, go in a corner and die quietly with her awful thoughts and let us
Right.
enjoy and reap the benefits of the hard work of many other creatives who
Mhm.
put so much time and effort into this universe. No, it looks every bit as fun as you've been saying. I've never been to Universal once. So that's still a bucket list thing for me.
Pretty good. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's a great way of looking at it. It's like, yeah, okay, she didn't direct the movies, she didn't build the
Yeah,
ride.
it's
I guess that's
different
totally
than with movies, with books, with all of that. It's different than the separation between art and artist is different than with something like With music, it gets more tricky because it's obviously far more of a solo and individual enterprise. Same
Smaller
thing with
crew too.
same thing with like YouTubers, like that completely, you know. I put
Right,
those on
right.
two different levels, and if I love a movie and it happens to have an actor or a director or somebody who I know is behind some of it, but that's such a collaborative medium. Same thing with books that become movies. It's a tricky tightrope to walk, but
Yeah.
I don't think someone like J.K. Rowling saying some really shitty things should take any of the fun away from any child who loves those stories, that world, and wants to play around in it. I think people can
Right.
go on forever, not thinking of her in the same breath of it.
Right, right. But anyway, yeah, it was awesome.
It seems so cool. I'm happy for you. Yeah.
Totally. The Super Mario thing was like being on another planet. That was really cool too.
Oh, they
Like,
finally got all of that built.
yeah, yeah, it's like a Super Mario themed sort of land. And so what it is that you buy this like overpriced like wrist bracelet thing,
Hmm.
Mhm.
and which is like way too overpriced for what you actually do with it, but fuck it, I mean, I only go to this thing once a decade, so I spent the $40 and bought it. And
Jesus, still that's a lot of
as
money
you
for a wrist bracelet.
I know. But as you walk around in the Super Mario Land, it's like there's little things that you can like sort of scan it and stuff will happen,
Hmm.
you know? So like there'll be like a little hidden spot, and what it is you download an app to your phone, which is like a game, and the game is that you have to find all the hidden stuff to do. So you walk around and there'd be like a little spot, and you put the wristband up to it, and then like a little image appears and you get a point, stuff like that. And then so that was kind of cool. And then there's like a Mario Kart ride, which was like in retrospect kind of not worth the fucking hour wait that I waited for, but
Oh,
still kind of
was it
nifty.
not violent and destructive at all? Where's the
So the actual effects on the ride itself look kind of awesome, like you're going into
Yeah.
Bowser's castle or whatever. But what it is that you sit in the thing and you put these goggles on. And I was actually more impressed with the technology of the goggles than I was with the actual game or the ride.
Ah.
And because they're like projected, they're like Google glasses, you know? And as you're driving around in the little cart, you're actually shooting like turtle shells out, and you're hitting the other players are driving around. So it's like you're playing Mario Kart while you're on this ride.
Mhm.
And it was kind of cool, it looked nifty and everything, and it was actually more fun, I think, going through the line and looking at all the cool stuff than actually going on the actual ride. But I just left it thinking like, well, damn, how come I can't just buy those goggles and like use that with my Nintendo Switch or whatever? Like, because like virtual reality goggles, like never, they still haven't like got it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you guys have tried VR goggles like lately, but they're not like high def. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
I mean, of course, I haven't tried like the latest like state of the art fucking Oculus Rift whatever things. You know what I mean? But like I got like the PlayStation ones, and I tried them because my aunt has them. So at Christmas, like I got to try them out, and they're still kind of grainy, just a little. You know what I mean? It's not like high def. It's pixelated, right? These things on this ride looked really good. They were like really crisp, and it was cool because you could see through it. So it could be something that like VR goggles, like when you put them on, you're kind of blind. You can bump into shit when you're walking around. You know what I mean? And these were like you could see like they were. It was like weird. It's like they're glasses that go over your face, but then the image is projected onto the glasses, so you can see behind it, right? And I was just thinking, I'm like, well, how come they can't just sell this and have it like hook up to my phone, and then I could like use this with my phone? You know what I mean? Like why is this in a ride in an amusement park? How come I can't like buy this at Best Buy or something and like walk around with my Dragon Ball Z Scouter or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's what I think. It's like, damn, this would make like an awesome like interface, for a wearable computer. Like, how come they don't have this shit? How come I have to go to a fucking like ride at an amusement park to experience this? But anyway, so that was kind of cool. I don't know. That's what I did last weekend.
Nice. You're living
I will
the
stop
dream.
rambling. I will stop rambling now, but anyway.
No, you're so cool. So we brought you on board.
Right.
Goji Shea says hold on. He says, no new recent movies watches for me. I recently rewatched the William Hartnell Doctor Who era, the original Ultraman for now. Sorry about the second one, Brayton. And then he also says, if I had to learn to divorce Neil Gaiman from some of the things that he's done that I love, like the Sandman comics, that some of the recent allegations against him.
Neil Grabass.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then
things are not looking good for Neil Gaiman. Yeah.
No, he's looking worse and worse. So, and then he says, wait, I take that back. I did see for the first time recently Giant Phantom Monster Aegon, not one of the best giant monster movies ever, I'll say. And I will not read that last one. But we've been going for nearly 90 minutes. Are you holding up okay, Mark?
Turtle shells. Oh, Brayton, don't let anyone see you painting those.
You opened the door. I closed it to save your life. You were like, I want to see the tornado. Brayton, no.
Censorship is not prohibited. Ralph, this is our audience are valued players in our nightly games of horror, and they should be allowed in. I think Mark should be a critic for. Is there an online subset of amusement park critics or ride?
Yes,
critics?
there's quite a bit of them.
Sure, there are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
Oh yeah. Like when I watch one called Poseidon Entertainment, and Defunct Land sometimes does that, but no, for the
of course.
Yeah, but no,
Defunct Land is awesome.
Yeah. Mark would be fun to listen to. It's like, hey man, check this out. It's cool, right? Butterbeer.
Yeah, if people pay me to go on roller coasters, I'll do that.
I was thinking of the Back to the Future thing, and I was thinking, if I had to travel back to the 50s to run those tasks that Marty is, tasked with, of getting back and making his parents fall in love, I would have Mark along as a faithful companion along that trip, because again, just the theory again, put Mark in any movie instantly makes it even better. And I would say Back to the Future is like, I don't know, Back to the Future is one of the most absolute crowd pleaser of a film, and that it's accessible to anyone will enjoy it. But
it's a great movie.
You add Mark to the mix.
No,
it's wonderful. As any
I
of the
wouldn't know what to
characters.
do in the 1950s. I'm sorry.
Well, at least you guys can pass off as white guys. Me, on the other hand, it's like, oh, what is that?
You could be mayor, Raph. Think about it one day.
Of the future.
Yes.
I was actually kind of thinking about, okay, so that was 30 years from 1985, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like 30 years ago today is like 1995. Like I just graduated high school. And it kind of got me thinking, right? So when I was in high school, right, I used to listen, like my music that I was into at the time was mostly classic rock and like a little bit of like punk and new wave kind of stuff, right? But mainly classic rock was my thing. And now that I think about it, like at the time, that stuff was more current than what is like, you know what I mean? Like less time had passed at that point than now from 1995. Like my favorite band when I was 17, and well, I guess 1995 I would have been 18. My favorite band was Led Zeppelin. That was my favorite band, and they broke up in 1980, right? So it was only 15 years old at that point, and that was already considered like classic rock.
Yeah.
Right. Like more time has passed since then to now than when like Led Zeppelin. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been twice as long since then. So
Just a quick.
you kind of
quick
think, but we don't
quick
think
correction.
about music from the 90s as like we don't think about music from like the 90s like Nirvana and like Metallica and shit like that. We don't think about that as like classic rock. You know what I mean? Like even though like more time has passed since then than before. So anyway, I just kind of got me thinking like, goddamn, I'm old.
Well, no, it's
Kinda
like what is it? I grew up with a lot of the music from the '90s. I was a big lover of MTV's various music videos when MTV used to play that. But no,
Yeah.
here's the thing though. You know you're getting old when songs you grew up with that were big things in your teenage years are used as jingles and commercials. It's like what? Yeah, it's like, oh my god, you can't do that to Blur and They Might Be Giants and Grass. Why are you doing this?
Like, okay, here's I guess here's a better way of expressing this, right? I used to think when I was a teenager, I used to think the 1970s was ancient history,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I used to think that anything that occurred before I was born was like some before time back when like cavemen and dinosaurs and shit ran around. Like that's what I used to think. Like,
Mm-hmm.
God damn, 1972, that's freaking super old, right? And like more time has passed since then than like that was newer compared to like say 1995 to now. Like Jurassic Park, right, is now 30 years old, right? But when in 1995, like Star Wars was only like 20 years old. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, wow, like more time is like passed since then. It's like, goddamn, like, I don't know, getting old, I guess. I guess that's a better way to like describe. Like, we don't think about like, but do you think Jurassic Park is like an old movie? Like, no, you don't, right?
No,
Like,
but
at least I don't. I mean, I imagine like someone who's 14 today might think Jurassic Park is an old movie.
yeah. Well,
But
to be
like,
to be fair, there's boomers out there who think anything is old.
but like we don't realize like 30 years has passed since Jurassic Park. Like,
Mm-hmm.
then when did that come out again? 95, 94.
No, no, 93,
You
I
know,
think.
93, 32 years.
Yeah.
Same year as
That's
Schindler's
how
List.
old. Yeah, that's how old Jurassic Park is, right? And you don't think that. Like when I see Jurassic Park, I still think like, oh, computer generated graphics and look how awesome that looks. And even though it's still kind of dated now, but still, it still looks pretty impressive, right? Like, at least I think so. Like, don't really consider that kind of thing. It doesn't click with me that stuff from the 90s is like would be considered like old and classic now. You know what I mean? Like it still hasn't like that has not clicked in my head yet. And I guess it's just I don't know. I'm pretty sure that someone who's like a teenager today, probably thinks that shit is ancient history. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm in my mid-20s, but the problem is
mhm,
I was born old, so my viewpoint is completely skewed. But
yeah,
no, I feel like there is a big conversation to be had. Raph and I have talked about it many a times, where it's kind of like pop culture has pop culture, at least in terms of drastic, you can see the change, kind of
yeah,
froze after the 90s to where
yeah,
there are, obviously this has to do with so many other things in culture and everything, but if you look at the difference in trends between the 60s and the 80s, they're far greater than the difference in trends between 2002 and 2022, you
oh,
know.
for sure, for
uh,
sure.
and I think the thing again with the whole Back to the Future experiment, if any of us went back in time now, 30 years ago, obviously there'd be some things we have to adjust to, but we'd have far easier of a time, mainly
Oh yeah,
because, especially kids in my generation or whatever, going back to the early 90s, late 80s, whatever, because we have at our hands access to technology, and it's
yeah.
not going to be such a shell shock type of thing where we're like, oh my God, people had Walkmans back then. Oh no, where are your AirPods? What the?
Yeah. Well, I
There's
think
less
the
of that.
biggest difference would be that not having phones
That's true.
Like that would be the big thing, and
The
to a
daily
lesser
conveniences.
to a lesser extent, um things like not having like so not having a phone, you don't realize what you use that for. Like you use it not just for texts and phone calls, but you use it for internet access. You use it to listen to music.
Yeah.
You use it to get directions. Like that was a big thing back in the night. Like you couldn't just be like, oh, if you were lost, you were fucking lost. And if you didn't have a quarter to call somebody, you were lost and incognito, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were stranded somewhere and you didn't have any money and you were really fucking stranded until you can get a phone and do like you could do a collect call to somebody, and if they weren't home, then you were screwed and you just had to call back when they were home. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't happen nowadays. If you have a phone, you can text someone and they'll see it, you know, and then you'll know you'll be okay. Like that was the big difference back then. Like
Are
you
there
couldn't
any?
you
Are
couldn't
there
get
any?
directions to places. That was another thing. It's like, oh, where's this place at? Oh, I'm not really sure. You couldn't just go online and find out, like, you know, if you're trying to get downtown someplace, or if you're trying to like find like a place of business or something, like if you didn't know where it was, like you had to fucking search for it. Like there was no like going on Google Maps and getting directions told to you as you drove to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a big difference. But anyway, you were saying, sorry, dude, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was gonna say, are there any payphones within a 20-mile radius of either of you two gentlemen in the big city over
I
there?
know.
No.
I've not seen a payphone in like probably 2005.
They
Wow.
have them at the airport.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
the only place. But yeah, like
Oh, wait
yeah,
a minute.
phones those are gone.
Yeah, there might be some oh god, outside phones over at the Weisburn library. So obscure place no one knows about.
The Max Weinberg Library.
Hey, Conan. Read my books. Oh my god, but yeah, those were the days. But yeah, no, again, it's so weird to be like watching television commercials, you know, advertising like skin rash lotion, and there is
God, yeah, that is weird.
yeah, and there is
You have that on a loop.
yeah, super like songs from Supergrass were like my favorite band growing up, still my favorite band. But no, a quick correction I want to ask you, Mark.
Well, I was gonna say the big songs when I was a teenager was "Call Me Maybe" and "Gangnam Style," so I don't have much rosy colored glasses from those.
Yeah. But no, a quick correction with Mark I wanted to ask. You said Led Zeppelin as a band broke up in 1980, correct?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say it was more like they rusted or sank?
Would oh
Or exploded in fiery tears and flames as children pelted the ground from a giant exploding Hindenburg, and oh the humanity, all those lives lost in the flick of an eye, and fire and gas.
apparently that's where the name came from. So it was the name, I think if I remember the story right, Jimmy Page wanted to make the new Yardbirds. Because he used to be in a band called the Yardbirds, and then
Yardbirds
somebody
is great, by the way.
Yeah, and then some music critic or somebody said it would sink like a Led Zeppelin, and so that they renamed it Led Zeppelin. But
and joke's on them. Led Zeppelin is now more popular than the Yardbirds will ever be, unfortunately.
right. But like, yeah, like I guess that's my point. Like, okay, so techno was a thing in the 90s, right? Now, techno is now like, I mean, the early sort of, you know, when there used to be like fucking raves and shit like that. Like that kind of shit was going on when I was in high school, right? Like, do you consider that like classic now? Like, is there such a thing as classic techno? Like, am I going to go to KRF 101 and like listen to classic techno? Like,
no, I think
not really.
Yeah,
you know?
no, I think techno can still be considered greatly niche. Because I don't even hear any commercials outside, you know, background music for Doctor Who making of videos.
Or gangster rap. Okay, so gangster rap has been a thing for 40 years now, almost. But you don't consider that something that's old, right? Like the idea of gangster rap seems like something that's still kind of new and mostly maybe not cutting edge, but it's like you don't associate that with oldies. You know what I mean? Like when you hear the word oldies and you associate oldies with a type of music, you think about music from the 50s, Elvis and shit like that, right? But now, like, this stuff that came out in the 1990s is like half as old. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like old enough to have children. Like, like Nine Inch Nails, the first Nine Inch Nails album came out in 1987. But nobody would try to say that Nine Inch Nails is like classic or oldies. Right? Like that's kind of like what I'm trying to get at. It's sort of like, yeah, I guess it's just like what you guys said. Yeah, like pop culture has sort of frozen and there hasn't really been much in the way I guess you guys are like 100% right, It hasn't really progressed,
yeah, and every time they try,
and you would fit in a lot better if you went back in time right now to 1995, dressed how you are now.
I'd be fine.
Yeah, using the kind of language you use now, with the kind of slang and all that stuff, you'd probably go unnoticed. But if you did the same thing back to 1955, all three of us would stick out as like sore thumbs. Like,
oh yeah, especially if we were wearing our silver Devo jumpsuits and we were all talking like robots.
Yeah,
1955.
But I mean, just
silver
even if you just wore casual clothes that you wear every day, and we show up in your car or whatever, even I have my car is like a decade old at this point, but it still has like Bluetooth and like hands-free cell phone service, you know what I mean, like, and like fucking power windows and all this shit that they didn't have in 1955. Like, people would think it's some kind of crazy ass space car from like the year 5000 or something.
Just the image of just all three of us like teleporting into like the middle of like Vasquez Rocks, like dressed up as we are but with our cell phones, and like teleporting back into the 50s like Star Trek characters, like, Mr. Brayton, what do you read? We're in 1957. Holy shit, nobody make love to their grandmother.
Oh man,
damn it, Brayton and Mark, I'm a drawer, not a doer. I don't know who.
Anyway, you guys must be exhausted, huh? So you like streamed for 3 hours before this, didn't you?
Yeah, we're going on 5 hours now.
Well, okay, we streamed, but me and Andrew talked for 85% of that.
Come on, the Doctor Who conversation was pretty long.
Oh, I am gonna have to call it a night here pretty soon, guys, but thank you for coming back on for me. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We like you, Mark. We like Mark. Don't read Brayton.
Yes, I'm a Mark fan. I'm a Mark for Mark.
Indeed.
Thank you.
So
let me read one of the comments here, man.
Sure.
So from Goji Shay, if you went to the 50s, I think people would be confusing you with that doppelganger of yours who tried taking on Elvis. Raft, lol.
Edmund O'Brien?
some kind of internal joke here.
Yeah, well, we were talking about the Doctor Who serial Revelation of the Daleks, and there's a character in it called the DJ, who's basically a DJ for a planet-wide cemetery.
What is no? He's talking about the version of you who belly bumped Elvis in the Big Boss Man music video. Right?
Oh yeah,
it's not about Doctor Who. Not everything is about Vietnam, man.
There was an episode of Doctor Who where we went to Vietnam.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
He tried a literal connection, dude.
Yeah, he tried to save Ziggy or whatever the name of the guy, the hologram, Sam.
All right, there's a show that was like ahead of its time right there.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah, no. What, Quantum Leap?
Quantum Leap.
Yeah,
that show was awesome.
There was a groundswell back at the time when it got canceled to bring it back. They had like their own conventions and there was talk of a movie. That's one of those things that could and they brought it back a couple years ago, and it
Oh, they
flunked
did?
hard. Yeah. Not
Did
with
it have
Scott
fucking Scott?
Bakula. No. They thought it was a new guy and a new generation, and they thought that he was going to make an appearance. People thought had their hopes up, but no.
Dude, how could you not like
Yeah.
bring Scott back? I mean, damn, dude. That's
Well,
like,
I think there
didn't
was
know
hurt
that.
feeling. I think there was hurt feelings because he was entirely shut out of the conversation. Like he didn't know they were bringing it back. Nobody ever approached him about it or anything.
Yeah, that
And they
feels
kinda
like the
started it up
network
without him.
not wanting like, ooh, we don't want old people on our new reboot. Ugh, no.
He's not even that. How old is? You know what? Now I gotta look that up.
He's
How old
he's
is
not
Scott?
pathetically old.
Yeah, he's a
He's
lot
not
better
Clint,
looking
he's
than
not
Ted
Clint
Danson.
Eastwood old.
Yeah,
Right.
and Ted Danson is a
Well-
very good-looking man in his age.
He's 70. But you know what? Looking
70's the new 50.
looking at him though, he doesn't look like. Yeah, he looks like he can handle it. You know what I mean?
there are many 70-year-olds who are
Yeah.
fit and spry, and especially if
He's
they've
looking
kept
like
up with himself.
he's looking like he's in good shape. Let's
Mhm.
put it that way. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's not like Harrison Ford and shit trying to be an action hero at fucking 97 or whatever.
yeah.
No.
You know,
Well, he's too-
Indiana
he's too-
Jones, give him hell, Indy. You know, turning into fucking.
Yeah,
Like-
rip my pants off. I make love to me. I'm Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, exactly. It's like at a certain point, it's like, dude, retire. You know, like
take my skeletal
Okay.
body and rip the flesh off it.
see, I think they should make a new indie movie and just digitally put Harrison Ford's face on somebody else's body. Because fuck it.
But current Harrison Ford's face on somebody else's body.
No,
just
they
to
should
sell the effect.
So
They
it
should
would look
set
like
it
a
in the
prune-headed
1960s.
bobble doll rotting in the sun.
They should just have him come in, record all the dialogue, right? Use AI to make it sound like a young person, right? Then film another guy and just fucking paste his face on it and be like Indiana Jones and the fucking Piñata of gold or some shit. You know. You know. Indiana Jones and the avocado triangle, like whatever the fuck they're gonna do.
Indiana Jones and the
Because-
horrible CGI homunculus face.
Like at this point, they can't make it worse, is what I'm trying to say, right? Like,
Just
All
do
right, so
Indiana.
they-
Look, they did the Indiana Jones video game, and that was a big hit. Just if you're
Yeah.
gonna do any more Indiana Jones, do it in a fucking video game. Do an animated series or something. And just make it. If you're gonna want to do a live action thing, just make a new Indiana Jones. He's a character trope as old as time. Just do a new
Yeah.
one and
Just
make it
recast
good, and
him.
it'll be a. Well, no, I mean just don't even do Indiana Jones. Like keep doing Indiana Jones in an animated form or video games, but just make a new indie character because he himself is a throwback. Just do another one.
just make up like, you know, call him like Dan
Do an
Danger
do
or
an
some
actual
shit.
Doc Savage movie or something, or
Right.
whoever the guy who was a ripoff of. Just do that. Make
Tennessee
what-
Jackson or whatever, some
I
kind
mean,
of name.
kind of
right?
like the guy from the Uncharted, Nathan Drake, and the Tomb Raider chick. They're kind
Yeah.
of indie
Lara
takeoffs.
Croft.
Just Laura Croft, yes. Just
Right.
do a new thing. I don't want to. I appreciate the sentiment, Mark, and I'd love to see more animated movies or something, or adventures, the further adventures of Indy in animated form. But like. Just the visual in my mind of a poor, sad Indiana Jones in a voice, or of Harrison Ford in a voice recording booth, all slumped over, and again, like Grandpa in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, at the microphone, and they put a hat on him just for publicity photos. That's the most depressing fish.
I'm just trying to think about how they could fuck it up like worse.
Hey kids.
Short
And-
round.
Hey kids.
Get
like,
you want
I
me,
don't think
want
they
me to wear
can,
the hat?
like-
I'll do it for $5.
Get the actor.
Like, they
who-
had
who-
aliens, they had time travel. They can't make it worse, like.
They could make it worse
I don't
by
know.
pushing Indy in a wheelchair. But no, what's funny is though, like at the time, what's funny is though at the time of the Crystal Skull, there were all
Yeah.
of those jokes about him being too old. But when you go back and look at Crystal Skull, it's not that far removed from where he was in Last Crusade. He just has gray hair. He's a little more grizzled and everything,
Mhm.
but he's still far more. He's fit and capable on that one. In
Yeah.
the Oh God, what was the fucking last
He's
one
still
called?
playing a guy that's supposed to be 20 years younger than he currently is, but yeah.
Yeah, but still he can pull it off, and he's
Yeah.
spry and fit enough at that age. You can buy it, but by the time you get to Dial of Destiny, which I liked, by the way, it was really sad and hard to see him get punched and to see him fall down, and I didn't want to watch that. So and it was obviously it's obvious CGI of him riding the horse and everything, which I get, and it makes me sad to see. But at this point, just do the Kihei Kwan or whatever his name is, who was Short Round, is kind of having a career revival. Have Short Round mentor somebody and have, do that if you're going to do any more.
Or just have Short Round take over the series. He can't be one for one to Indiana Jones, but he can be an action hero in his own right.
Like a spin-off.
Yeah. And it's... But no, I also like the idea of bringing back Doc Savage and giving him a proper film franchise.
Just do something new and different, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I could see a Doc Savage film series.
Sure.
But by the way, I'm sorry. I know what tonight's episode is going to be: Indiana Jones and the Piñata of Gold.
Okay, well, I've got as we've been talking, I've written down about 15 different titles that I'll pass by you, but I'll add that to the list.
Okay, yeah. It's like, what was the other one? Indiana Jones and the Big Rubber Ducky. What was that?
And the Ducky of Destiny.
But yeah, no, I had the image where it's like you guys are talking about Indiana Jones being so old, and it's like Indiana Jones and the Led Zeppelin concert crasher, and it's just like a really old fat guy hanging onto a whip, just landing in the middle of like a Led Zeppelin concert. Where am I? Oh, I need a sandwich.
Somehow you connect like the Bermuda Triangle through his liver spots.
Even Harrison Ford's liver spots.
Yes.
This is
Marcus.
What
I know where we go now, Marcus.
Indiana Jones and the
Can
Walker
I come
of
along?
Destiny.
You're too old and fat. So are you. Ah, damn.
The Indiana Jones and the Orthopedic Shoe Crusade or whatever, because he can barely fucking walk.
Raph still has not seen Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost Adult Diapers. All right, okay. Have you seriously not seen? All right, dude. How have you not seen Raiders of the Lost Ark? Look,
It's just one of those movies I haven't had a chance to sit down.
But
and give a
how?
proper
You and
watch.
Mark are roughly the same age. It had to have come on television at least once in your youth.
Yeah.
Go watch Raiders of the... Dude, Raph, what are you doing, dude? Go watch Raiders of the Lost Ark, dude. Seriously.
Okay.
Like,
no, but I
That
gotta...
that seems like one of the things you purposely have to avoid, not like seeing.
We came
It's the
very
whole
close
reason
to
why we
streaming
have-
it on several
Yeah.
occasions, but we stopped because we're scared of the copyrights that Universal might give
All right.
us. So
Next time you come over, we're watching Raiders of the Lost Ark, dude.
okay, that's
Watching
okay. How about this? If I don't
We're
watch
watching
it
that,
before I see
and we're
ya-
also watching another Exorcist movie, except for The Exorcist 2. Okay, we're gonna watch the first Exorcist and the first Indiana Jones movie.
and then we'll follow with Exorcist 2, Back in the Boogaloo.
Seriously, what other like movies from main like franchises?
We've got a
have you not
list. We
seen?
have a list.
like, have you not seen the first Star Wars? We can watch that one. Like, have you not seen
What
like
Star
Wrath
Wars?
of Khan? Have you
I've
not
seen
seen Wrath of
StarCraft.
Khan? We can watch that one.
The
Like,
Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, no,
No.
I've seen plenty of the Star Trek movies, minus the one where they battle the giant floating head god. I have seen most of all the Star Wars movies. I have not seen Solo though, but I have no interest in seeing a prequel for.
But have you seen Solo Leveling? Solo Leveling is what they call when they have to lift Harrison Ford into his hospice bed.
Is that you, Chewie? No, it's just your very hairy nurse. Aw.
Indiana Jones and the Voodoo Hospice nurse.
Okay, so
Oh,
what are
man.
your titles, Brayton, before we call it a night?
Hold on, let me go back in time here. Okay. So, You Fool, which is what I said at the start, Starship Mechagodzilla, The Icky Politics of Mummy Mortuaries, Katy Perry and Godzilla, Far Out Space Nuts, Juice in the West, Rootin' Tootin' Rodeo Rangers, Suicide Guardians of the Thunderbolt Squad, Game of Sucks, which is when you were saying sucks about Game of Thrones, Some like it Quark, which is Quark and Dreg, how I imagine it.
That sounds awesome.
Stranded on Egghead Island, Bikinis and Ugly Giants, Clint Eastwood, The Man with No Shame, Toddler, Tron, and Indiana Jones and the Golden Piñata.
Hey, I want to pick them all.
We'll do a randomizer thing.
Bikinis and Giants. Well, okay, what was the Rootin Tootin Rangers?
Rootin Tootin Rodeo Rangers.
Which one do you like, Mark? Be the tiebreaker here.
Oh God. I think I have to go with oh fuck, what was it? What was the Indiana Jones and the what?
Indiana Jones and the Golden Piñata.
Yeah, Golden Piñata. I gotta go with that.
What about you, Mark? Which one? I mean, what about you, Brayton? Which one are you favoring?
I'll have to go with Indiana Jones and the Golden Piñata. I'm Mark. I'm Mark number 2. I'm Mark 2. What about you, Mark 3?
I like it too. I think it's really cool.
There we go. Okay, it's a triple header then. We have it.
Indeed. Attack of the 3 Marks. Indiana Jones and the 3 Marks.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I think we'll go with Indiana Jones and the 3 Piñatas, but I just got to hear the list again. That's amazing.
You will hear it after the stream.
Okay, fine.
Right. That was pretty funny. But...
Yeah.
All right, yeah, guys, I'm fading fast here. My eyes are closing. So.
Okay, you go ahead and say.
I gotta get going.
All right, Mark. Thank you so much. We're definitely going to do something soon again. Maybe 2 weeks from now, we'll do the Saturday night movie screening with you.
Totally. No, thank you for coming back on. You guys were like finished and everything, and I appreciate it. You know, it's cool hanging out with me. So,
anyway, always a joy.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes. Goji Shay says we should go with Rootin Tootin Rangers.
Totally.
Okay.
Thank you, Goji Shay. Good to hear you, and thank you, Brayton. Talk to you later.
Yeah.
I am out of here. Adios, guys.
Adios. All right. Thank you so much for showing up. Just you and me, skinny man. The battle between the worm and the squirm.
You know, we were finished before, but after tonight we will be big finished.
Hey!
That's another title possibility.
I know. That list, though, I'm definitely going to post that in the description because those are all excellent. So, Bikinis and Giants. I was hoping you'd miss that one.
Bikinis and Ugly Giants.
Yeah, that's what One Piece... Almost like 80% of the characters in One Piece are either sexy women bikinis or ugly giants.
They might be ugly giants.
In bikinis.
Yep. But like bananas in pajamas.
Mm-hmm. Oh. But yeah, with that says, I think we're done.
All right.
Okay, I will play us out with their traditional night owling series, but yeah, Skype, thank you again. It's been the last Skype night.
Yeah.
That's not one of the
dark
titles.
Skype of our souls.
Yeah, so anyways. But yeah, so thank you, GoJJ, for joining us. Big thank you to anybody in the future watching us later on. You're more than welcome to add wacky questions in the comments, and we'll try to answer them in the future in a separate video if it's just me. We're going to end with another band that will no doubt be used in a skin lotion commercial pretty soon, the Aquabats. This one was, of course, arranged by our friend Brayton here. Any last things you want to say, Brayton, before we say goodnight for good and farewell to Skype?
Prune juice. Why does it always have to be prune juice?
It's just little bottles of prune juice like moving slowly on the floor, like ding, 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 ding. Oh no, what am I gonna do? Just put like gray up my hair with like Halloween silver makeup.
There's not much needed to gray up there, Raph. You are turning into Raph Claws. I don't know.
Sure, the smoky tops of Raft Mountain.
Oh, what's his name? Alan Moore.
Alan Moore. Oh, I don't like my little friend, the snake puppet. Oh. I do only one impression, but I do it good. Oh my goodness! But yeah, we're gonna call it a night. Skype, thank you again for your assistance, even though you're a confusing, haphazardly constructed, archaic machine. But we had one last fun with you. Brayton, I am tired as all hell, so I'm probably going to talk to you for 5 minutes and call it quits after this. But yeah, let's end the night with this wonderful little song from the Aquabats, arranged by our friend Brayton here. And any last things from your end?
Prune juice. Why am I saying this twice?
Good night, folks. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Take care, and thank you for everything.
Here's something to think about when things go wrong all the time. That luck can change like that high tide. Bad things can soon turn out alright. And with each passing day, so goes another life. Everybody wants to live, some people wanna die. So close your eyes, 'cause it's alright to say hello. Good night. A good night. A good night. A good night. So if this is to be our time, just think of what we left behind. Will they say good of you to last, or lose the memory of you fast? Forever and ever, a wonderful thing. Will someone be grateful for what we tried to bring? It's late, but just remember then, this day will never come again.
Oh, you're not saying a damn thing, are you? I offered them a peep show. That fell on deaf ears.
Everybody wants to live, some people wait to die. So close your eyes, 'cause it's alright to say hello.
Good night, folks.
Good night. A good night. A good night. Hello, good night. Hello, good night. Good night. Good night. Hello, good night. Goodbye.
May the fourth be with you. Where's my damn Nutrical?